Welcome to our admissions podcast, A Pathway to Princethorpe, a podcast series designed to assist parents just like you in the exciting journey of applying to Princethorpe College. Throughout this series, we'll delve into the admissions process, explore everything from understanding our school's ethos to practical tips for preparing your child for our entrance exams and beyond.
Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of admissions, let us take a step back and introduce you to Princethorpe College. Founded on a rich history and a commitment to academic excellence, Princethorpe is more than just a school. It's a community dedicated to nurturing the potential of every student who walks through its doors.
Throughout this series, we will be your guides, providing insight, answering your questions, and shedding light on what sets Princethorpe apart. So whether you're a first-time parent navigating the independent school's admissions process, or considering a change for your child's education, you've come to the right place.
So, sit back, relax, and join us as we embark on this journey. Let's navigate the admissions pathway to Princethorpe together. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of A Pathway to Princethorpe, the podcast designed to help you with admissions into Princethorpe College. This week we're going to be talking to Mr. Michael Spencer, who is our Deputy Head of Academics.
So Michael, can you tell us what's your favourite thing about working at Princethorpe College?
Hello, and thank you for having me today. Princethorpe's a really special place. We've got lovely facilities. We're very, very fortunate. But the absolute best thing is the people, the colleagues I get to work with day by day, and the young people that we get to educate. They are an incredible and eclectic bunch that it's a real privilege to be in charge of.
So throughout the episodes of the Pathway to Princethorpe podcast that we've been doing over the last few weeks, we've commented a lot about how Princethorpe's got a real spirit of family, and we think that your family would fit into that mould, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. And my wife has recently joined the foundation as well, working with alumni, and both of my boys are educated in one of the foundation prep schools where they are having an absolute ball. So yes, it's a place that my family's felt very much at home in, but also it feels like we're part of something bigger, part of a bigger community that is a real joy.
So we know that you're also a physics teacher. What do you like best about teaching physics? Why is that your subject?
My love for physics started when I was really young, and I remember my dad taught me how to play snooker, and there was the point where I discovered that rather than just hit the white ball as hard as you could and hope, if you understood a little bit about how the universe worked, you could manipulate the direction the balls went in and win. And this was a revelation to me, and that started that process of me falling in love with understanding how the universe works and being able to describe it. And I loved that through my time at school and university. And then it felt like a natural step to share that love of understanding the universe with young people. So I love melting the brains of young people with some of the weird things about how our universe works. But then I love those penny drop moments when it all makes sense, when suddenly they realize that that's why it works like that. That's why a star looks like that. That's why it feels like this when I go around a corner, even though it might not be instantly apparent.
And what does your kind of typical day look like? I know that might be quite a tricky question.
Quite eclectic, to be honest. So I will be in the lab teaching some physics almost every day, and that's a real highlight for me. But then other things, I'll be in meetings with colleagues, trying to make sure that we have the best plans for the future of the college. I'll be looking at the timetable and curriculum we've got to make sure that works for the students, processing their options for GCSEs and A-levels, talking to colleagues about their teaching, popping into lessons, meeting with heads of house, heads of department to think about which students are really excelling, who we need to congratulate, and where someone might be struggling and we might need to put in some extra support for them. So a real mixture, but very much focused on the people here and how we can work together to get the most out of our young people.
And of course, you're also part of our admissions panel when we are going through entrance exams. You're very much part of the admissions team then.
Yes, and that's really exciting at that point in November, where you get to see this collection of young people who may one day be coming to Princethorpe, and really exciting there to look at each individual case and see, well, what do they bring and what can we offer to them, and try to match all of those applicants and all of those entrance exam results and all of the stories of the individuals to who are we the right fit for as the next part of their education.
Yeah, that's brilliant. We've talked a lot about how it's very much getting the the right shaped pupils, the right shaped hole, and that, how making sure that they're going to be happy and thrive and really throw themselves into Princethorpe life.
Like we've just said, you're on the admissions panel and, children will be getting offers and then they start in year 7. Generally kind of working from year 7 upwards, what does an overview of the curriculum for each year group start to look like?
So our curriculum starts off being really broad. We want our year 7s to learn a little bit about a lot of different subjects. So they'll have the maths, the English, the science, a range of different design technologies, Spanish, Latin, history, geography, computer science, a real mixture of subjects. And I'm very sorry to those subjects I've missed out of that list. Please don't be offended. As we move up the school, we start to add a little bit more of an opportunity for our young people to specialise. So going into year 8, they'll pick up French as an extra modern foreign language. But then going into year 9, we ask them to choose whether they'd like to continue with French or Spanish and to make another couple of choices about where they'd like to specialise, be that art, music, drama. And that allows them to really focus in on the things that they're most passionate about and interested in. We go a step further going into year 10 as we start GCSE and other level 2 courses, where students still have to follow a core curriculum of English, maths, science, and RS, but they then get 3 completely free subject choices from an array of 18 different qualifications. We have sport and dance BTEC and then an array of GCSE. And that means that our young people in year 10 and 11 have the chance to really focus on the subjects that they're most passionate and interested in, alongside that core that hopefully gives them a really rounded set of qualifications. Moving into sixth form, it's then even more bespoke. Most students there will take 3 A-levels or level 3 BTECs, and then one other smaller qualification, an EPQ or similar. And so a chance there for them to really specialise in the area that they've grown to love most.
So that's brilliant to hear all about the curriculum throughout the school. Is the curriculum quite fixed, or is there any flexibility for those perhaps who have additional needs?
The core of our curriculum is the same for all of our pupils, but we do have some flexibilities built in that mean we can better support those who have specific needs or particular interests. So lower down the school, we will offer some tuition sessions generally focused on literacy skills for pupils with more significant dyslexia needs. And so our learning support department will help us all as teachers to adjust our lessons to the young people in front of us, but also have that opportunity to offer some additional tutoring where that is helpful. And that normally sits in place of Latin in year 7 or in place of one of the modern foreign languages in year 8. Moving up through the schools, some pupils do take one option fewer in year 10 and 11 at GCSE level to allow space for more focus on study skills from the learning support department where that is appropriate for them. We also offer some additional opportunities for young people who have specific talents or areas where they excel. So some of the pupils who achieve incredibly highly with our Da Vinci program will go on to take level 1 and 2 project qualifications lower down the school. We also follow some additional mathematics qualifications in year 10 and 11 for those who are really excelling in maths. So the core curriculum is fairly constant, but with the opportunity to remove a little bit or to add a little bit to help pupils to get the very best out of their time.
That's a very clear overview of how the subjects change moving throughout the time at school. What sort of assistance do children get when they're choosing options, and how are parents involved in that?
So all of those options processes start with conversations with parents and young people to explain the logistics of the process and what their choices are. Their form tutors will also be involved because they see the pupils holistically. They know how they're getting on across the curriculum. They know what their interests are, so they can offer advice. We've got a really expert careers department who will meet with individuals to offer them guidance about their future plans. And then through the presentation evenings where we share that information, and then in the weeks and months that follow, the chance for those conversations with form tutors, careers staff, individual subject teachers. The hope is that we get as many as possible of those pupils into the best set of subjects for them. And in most cases, it's not about finding the one unique right set of subjects for them, but it's choosing which one of the many really good options they have open to them is the one that they want to follow. So lots of support there. For some, it's a really easy decision and it takes about 10 minutes. And we will then make them sit and think about it for a few months before we ask them to confirm. For others, it's a really laborious and drawn out process because they have so many things they might want to do, And there it's making sure we have the level of support that helps them get to a set of subjects they are absolutely happy in. We don't do any of the timetable building until we've got that information. So we will do our utmost to make everybody's options fit. And this year, everybody going into year 10 has had the options that they asked for. And we've even catered for almost all of the adjustments that have been requested over the summer as people went on holiday to France and discovered they secretly loved the French language all along.
So one thing that parents are often a bit worried about when their child moves from primary to secondary school is that when their children are at primary school, they see a lot of the class teacher, they get a lot of sort of chit-chat at pick-up time, seeing what's going on in the school a lot more than when your child goes to senior school. There's lots of different separate teachers. How would you say Princethorpe goes about communicating with parents about their child's progress throughout the school? What's the sort of timetable of that sort of communication between school and parent?
I think there's a mixture of what's scheduled and in place for everyone. We've got some key points where we will send home reports typically 3 times a year that give an overview of the academic attainment of individuals and also an idea of their attitude and approach to those lessons. So those are the fixed points, if you like, where we will send that information home. We'll also couple those with subject progress evenings where there's the opportunity to meet generally online with subject teachers to talk in more detail about your son or daughter's progress and learning in that subject. We run a 360 evening for pupils every year where you can meet in person with their form tutor for 15 minutes to discuss their whole experience at Princethorpe, their academic progress, but also their social life, their involvement in co-curricular activities, and all of those different facets that make up their time here. So those are the timetable things through the year, but we really want you to see that as part of an ongoing conversation. So they will be dovetailed with the individual emails or phone calls that may come from a subject teacher to highlight a particular success or issue, and also from the form tutor, who is the real linchpin of contact who holds all of that together. And so I would expect that in lots of cases, they would be in touch with pupils' parents as the year progresses to pass on key messages, to raise concerns, to respond to things that are going on, to pass on congratulations. So it's very much a dialogue that will be unique to each individual, but with those key dates in the diary where everybody gets information at the same time.
So lots of opportunity to keep up with how your particular child's progress and any issues that need raising. There's lots of chances there to get together.
Absolutely. And you'll have email details for form tutors who are the best first point of contact, but also for subject staff, for heads of department and heads of house for any larger pastoral concerns. So there are very much systems in place that mean you can get in touch with someone who will be able to answer your query, respond to a concern, and most importantly, support your son or daughter to get the very best out of their time here.
That's brilliant. I think that'll be really reassuring for parents.
And kind of looking towards the back end of the child's time at the school, academic success isn't just about a set of exam results, but that is something that we definitely look at and something that all children work towards. So at Princethorpe, what do those sorts of results look like?
We were really proud this year of our A-level and GCSE results and the BTEC results for both year 11 and upper 6, some superb results. We had 2/3 of our A-level grades were A-star to B, 44% of our GCSE grades were grades 7 or above, so that's A's and A-stars in old money. And the statistics sound lovely, but what we're really proud of is the individual stories behind each of those grades. And we will celebrate the A-stars and the grade 9s with the same enthusiasm as we will celebrate grades 4 and 5 and C's and D's, where they represent the best that young person could achieve and where they open the door for the next stage in their future. We're really proud of the range of universities, apprenticeships, employments, and other opportunities that our sixth formers go on to pursue. And similarly for our year 11s, we love seeing those young people open envelopes that mean that the next stage in their future is secure. And if that's going to a college to study a specialist course that we can't provide, that's amazing. If that's coming back to our sixth form to do A-levels, similarly, it's very much about celebrating the success of the individuals and the futures that they're opening up for themselves.
So it's really interesting to hear that there are lots of different destinations when individual pupils are leaving Princethorpe. We've mentioned apprenticeships or employment or university. What sort of guidance do they get as they move through the school to see what sort of path would be most suitable for each one?
Our careers department are really proactive in having a lighter touch involvement in lower year groups. So they're available to have conversations with individuals lower down the school. And then through the PSHE programme, our biannual careers fair, particularly through the PSHE and core programmes in year 10, 11 and into sixth form, they get more and more guidance on how to look at their future, how to think about what subject choices, as we talked about earlier, might be helpful to guide them towards a specific career. Going into year 11, the careers team will meet with every individual student to talk about their plans. And through sixth form, the form tutors are absolutely integral in guiding them through the UCAS process if they're applying to universities, but also offering advice or pointing them in the direction of where to find the best advice for those who want to go down other routes. Our careers department have a huge amount of expertise there, and where they don't know the answer to something, they're excellent at pointing our young people in the direction of where they need to get the support that they need for exploring some of those more unusual routes.
And are we able to help with things like work experience for those courses that might benefit from that?
Absolutely. We've got a network of our own alumni who we can put pupils in contact with, so we're very happy to help direct them to finding their own work experience placements, or alternatively matching them up with old Princethorpians, OPs, who may be able to offer work experience in particular areas. And I know for some careers that's an absolutely integral part of the application process, because the work experience is almost as important as the grades they're achieving too. So yes, as much support as young people need to organise work experience is there for them. That's
really lovely to know that it's we've mentioned before, our foundation for life, that we can look after the individual children from nursery age all the way through junior school, all the way through school, but also after they've left. So we're interested in them when they go off to university, and some of them come back, don't they, Georgia?
And some of them come back. So looking at universities, what sorts of destinations have we got leavers going to this year, but also kind of more broadly, maybe places people have gone to in the past?
The full range, to be honest. We have candidates who go to Oxbridge most years. We have candidates going to study medicine or veterinary sciences. But we also have the full range of Russell Group universities, some of the newer universities represented. There are always some weird and wonderful courses that young people find that really piques their interest. So we have OPs studying folk music, studying some very niche branches of fashion, because that was where their passion lay. And it's really important to celebrate the full range of destinations, because it's all about what's right for that young person and their future plans, be that one of the more traditional institutions or something that's actually more up and coming and bespoke to their particular interest.
And like you said, it's not just universities either, it's apprenticeships, or even maybe going back to the universities thing, the universities abroad as well. People don't just stay in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. International universities offer a different set of opportunities, and we've had young people go to universities in mainland Europe and America in recent years. And it's always really exciting, sometimes challenging to get your head around a different set of application systems, but really exciting to see them explore those opportunities abroad. As you said, apprenticeships, particularly degree apprenticeships, are becoming more and more sought after. And so we're really keen to support our students to get into some of those incredibly competitive application processes there, and to give them all the support that they need to hopefully take advantage of some of those great opportunities.
And would you say that the sixth form leavers generally get onto the sort of pathway that they're most keen on achieving?
Absolutely. The overwhelming majority of our upper sixth will always end up going to the destination that they had in mind. And for some of them that changes. They come up with new ideas. This year we had a number of upper sixth who actually went through the clearing process on results day because they'd done better than expected and realised that there were new courses open to them that they hadn't previously considered. But absolutely, the vast majority are incredibly happy with where they end up, and we are delighted for them.
And that's so lovely to see the sort of end of the whole 7-year cycle if they've come into Princethorpe in year 7 and see them going out as young men and women into the world.
Absolutely, and that's what it's really about, is them leaving equipped for the next stage of life. And we're really proud of the young people that we send out from Princethorpe in terms of their qualifications, their education, but more than that, their character and their skills that they're ready to take out and make a difference in the world with.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's absolutely brilliant information to hear.
So I believe that concludes everything for this episode.
I think we've got all the information we wanted out of Mr. Spencer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And we will be back next Friday with the next episode of A Pathway to Princethorpe. Goodbye.
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 And that concludes this episode of The Pathway to Princethorpe. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and valuable in helping you navigate the admissions process for your child.
Remember, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like us to cover in future episodes, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us on admissions@princethorpe.co.uk. Your feedback is essential in shaping this podcast to better serve you, our listeners.
And as always, stay connected with us on our website and social media channels for updates and additional resources. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so that you never miss an episode.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time, take care and best of luck with your admissions process. We look forward to welcoming you to our Princethorpe community soon.